reached Samaritans. We'll be with you as soon as we possibly can. Please stay on the line. We're putting you through to a volunteer now.
Samaritans, can I help you?
Hi, my name is Howie. I want to talk about my feelings about not being able to access healthcare, but I would be very grateful if you didn't ask me to approach child rapists, because if you do that, I'm going to have a seizure.
Hang on, Howie, I didn't catch all of that. What are you asking me not to do?
Not to ask me to contact child rapists, because they will cause me to have a seizure.
Well, I'm not going to tell you to do anything at all, Howie, so we're on safe ground.
Thank you very much.
I'm listening.
I had to go to the job centre today,
Uh-huh.
and my wheelchair had a flat tire.
Right.
And I contacted the wheelchair service, and they're refusing to repair my wheelchair.
Oh.
And I find it very difficult. I cannot communicate with the Department for Work and Pensions. I have a brain injury, and every time I try to communicate with them, they deflect the conversation from what I'm trying to talk about to something that they're interested in, which has got nothing to do with why I'm phoning up in the first place.
All right.
So I had to physically go in my broken wheelchair an hour on a very uncomfortable bus, and in a broken wheelchair to go to the job centre. And then they just started processing me. They always do that. They process me in a way that's not the reason why I went there in the first place.
And what's the situation with the wheelchair now? Have you had the tire pumped up or replaced, or?
No, it's still broken.
It's still broken, yeah.
And the worst thing is, like on Friday, I went to another job centre on the bus that goes in the other direction, also about an hour's journey. And the wheel fell off. And I can't communicate. No matter what I do, I cannot communicate with the wheelchair service. They're forever causing me to have seizures.
Oh, I'm sorry, Harry. That's pretty rubbish.
I had my hospital operation 20 years ago that left me in a wheelchair. The hospital that did the operation doesn't want to know about what's happened.
what job would you like to be doing?
Please repeat the question slowly.
Yeah, what job in a perfect world would you like?
I can't work. I'm brain injured. I
That
can't.
stops you from working at all. I see. Okay.
Yeah, I
Right.
cannot do any job because
Right.
I'm offensive.
You're offensive, right?
Yes, I can't wash myself. I stink. I've got very, very bad manners.
I see.
Nobody wants me around. I make people feel very uncomfortable. You see, people, everybody wants to follow the fashion. Whatever the fashion is, whether it's clothes or football or whatever. But if you can't follow the fashion, then you're not wanted.
Now, the first thing you said was, I want to talk about my feelings. So please tell me about, how are you feeling right now?
At the job centre, I had terrible stomach pain, but that's gone. I have spinal pain.
I meant more emotional than physical, I think, in terms of emotional feelings.
When I tried to speak to the Samaritan before you, they kept telling me to go to child rapists, and it caused me to have a seizure.
I don't, again, you said that several times. I'm still not sure I understand. I think it's fairly unlikely that the Samaritan would give any advice about anything. We aren't supposed
They
to.
did.
So
They clearly told me to go to the police and to the GP. And both the police and the GP are child rapists. And I'm not going there, no matter what the Samaritans say.
Well, I'm not going to give you any advice whatsoever, Howie, so please rest assured of that.
I'm the kind of person who has to avoid police, social workers, the police. And that's why I'm phoning up. Because if you can't register with a GP, you can't, what's the word? Like the wheelchair service wouldn't repair my wheelchair because I can't register with a GP.
How did you get it?
Because I had a hospital operation that left me unable to walk. So the wheelchair service had to provide one.
I see. But now it's not in good repair.
Yeah, that's right.
Harry, that's too bad. I'm very sorry. So in terms of your emotional well-being, are you happy? Are you sad? Are you cross? Are you content? How are you?
I'm trying to stop my children from being raped.
You have children, okay. So what children do you have?
My children are aged between 1 and 45, and I have 9.
I see.
And I've never lived with any of my children. And most of my children are adopted. And some of them are disabled.
I see. We still don't really talked about your feelings, though. How are you feeling right now?
I have to have a personal welfare deputy from the Court of Protection, and I saw them every day for 3 years, and on the 4th of June they were abducted, and they won't see me anymore.
Howie, the first thing you said was, I want to talk about my feelings, but I don't think you have very much so far.
Because I'm brain injured, and so therefore, instead of having the kind of Mills and Boons type of feelings that normal, decent human beings have, I don't have any feelings. I just have seizures instead. Yes, feelings are for human beings. I am not a human being. I'm very, very sorry to offend you. I should have introduced myself at the beginning of the call. as being
Mm-hmm.
as being half human, because the other half of my brain is inside my personal welfare deputy appointed by the Court of Protection.
Who was abducted, you said?
Yes, who was abducted by government economic policies. The government said they would give them £1,000 a month and a lovely hotel room with a big bathroom if
Mm-hmm.
and all they had to do was to say that they are escaping from an abusive relationship. And then before the 4th of June and after the 2nd of June, this person started talking to me in a very strange voice and then was saying that they, they were concerned for their mental health when they'd never mentioned this to me before. And I feel that the government operatives have hypnotized this particular person.
I see.
There's been a change in character. And although there was no contract between me and them to say that they would see me every day, this is what I gained, or what I enjoyed out of the relationship, was that I saw somebody every day who would get to know what my will is, which is what I require medically because of my brain injury. And then
What happened to your brain? What happened?
I was found unconscious with malaria in 1990.
Oh, good Lord.
But the problem is that the protocols for obtaining a personal welfare deputy are practically non-existent in the UK
I see.
and overseas too. I tried in many other countries.
So, Howie, have you ever thought that maybe you don't want to be here?
Yeah, definitely. I was so happy when the MPs voted for assisted dying. I thought it was going to be immediate, but then when I double-checked with ChatGPT, they said I had to wait another 255 days. But I immediately wrote to all the different regional governments and asked them to assess my medical file and put me on number one in the waiting queue for assisted dying certification.
You'd rather be dead than alive?
For sure, really.
Really?
I had stopped whilst my deputy was around, but when they disappeared, I feel like I want to die again.
Have you ever considered ending your own life?
Yeah, many times. I even studied at a university.
You did? What did you study? What did you study there?
It was called Low Country Studies,
Yeah.
and had the philosophy of Belgium and Holland and why they euthanize people.
Currently, are you considering ending your own life?
I've been considering ending my life for at least 15 years.
Really?
Yeah.
And right now?
Yeah, that's why I call the Samaritans. I'm not calling the Samaritans because I'm feeling very delighted with the quality of my life. I've called the Samaritans because I cannot access medical care. And one of the requirements to obtain assisted dying certification is that there is no further medical treatment possible. That's why I'm talking to you about not being able to access medical treatment, because that's one of the requirements for assisted dying certification.
I understand. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yes, you cannot just go to your neighbor and say, "Club me over my head," because they would be arrested for murder. What you have to do, you have to get your certificate from the assisted dying department, and the neighbor also has to sign it, saying that they are going to be the nominated murderer, and then you can go to your neighbor and they can kill you. But you can't do it unless they've got a certificate. Otherwise, they'll be done for murder.
And is that your plan when this goes ahead and goes through the House of Commons and all that?
Yeah, I planned it like many years ago, but the Belgian people and the Holland people didn't want to help me.
Hmm.
They kept making the Holland people kept destroying my file every 9 months.
So you say you have 9 children. So clearly you have a partner. How are you getting on with your partner? Or partners? How you got a child of 1 year old? I think you said.
Yes.
So how is your relationship with your partner?
It's not my partner, it's my deputy.
Is the mother of your child?
My personal welfare deputy is the mother of the youngest child.
I see. Well, how's your relationship with them?
They're the person who disappeared.
They're the person who got abducted, you said. Okay.
Yes, exactly. They're the abductor.
And where do you suppose abductees? So where do you suppose they are?
They're in a refuge.
I see. And where's the 1-year-old?
With the mother.
With mum, I see. Okay.
In the refuge.
Okay. So how often do you call us?
Now and then.
Now and then. Okay.
Yeah.
And it helps?
Sometimes I ask the chat AI to listen to the conversation and to write, and they write a summary at the end, and and then it tells me who I have to contact. But that's why I'm phoning. It's very important that when I talk to you, I talk about not being able to access medical care, because it's how can I put it? If I would say, I will give you an example. In the medical care, there's a thing called an integrated care board. It used to be called a clinical commissioning group, and before that it was called a primary care trust. And then there are hospitals and doctors. And if you can't access medical care, it's very unclear who you have to contact, because the social workers don't want to know me. And I can't register with a GP. And all I can really access is the out of hours doctors and A&E.
Okay.
And I've got there's a few hospital consultants I still see, like mainly neurologists, because I was referred there. One neurologist I was referred to in 2007 after I had a seizure, and the police officer didn't understand why I couldn't communicate, and so handcuffed me and dragged me across Stansted Airport and damaged my spinal cord in my neck. I've seen that doctor now for nearly 20 years. And another doctor that I was referred to in 2018, and he still sees me sometimes. But apart from that, I don't have anybody. The wheelchair services are very sporadic. Normally they can only help me when their computer breaks down and they don't realize that I'm banned, and then they can help me. But when their computers are all working again and they realize I'm banned, then they won't help me.
So how come you're banned from the wheelchair people?
They're just bad people. They're just not fit to practice. like they say to me, I have to use a wheelchair that's worse than the one I've got, and I won't take it. And then because want to use my old wheelchair, they ban me because the new one is no good at all. They get the quality of the new wheelchair is absolute rubbish, and that's why they ban me.
Harry, what's the answer? What will help you get a better wheelchair?
Well, I wrote to the MRHA and they just ignored me. And I wrote. That's the problem. The healthcare regulation system in the United Kingdom is extremely complicated because each country has its own way of doing things. England is different from Wales, is different from Scotland, is different from Ireland, is different from Jersey, the Channel Islands and the Isle of Man. They're all different. And you've got the Care Quality Commission, and you've got the MRHA, and you've got the Parliamentary and Health Service Ombudsman, and then you've got a very, very complicated complaints process. And the result, and all of those ombudsmen and complaint services, they're all like either overworked or too lazy to actually do anything. And they haven't got time to assist a disabled person, even if you've got an advocate or not. So let's
come back to you, because I don't really know much about ombudsman, but I'm interested in you and your well-being. So who else do you have? How are your neighbours? Who have you got?
No, I don't have neighbours because I'm too antisocial.
So you don't have neighbours?
No,
okay.
I'm a homeless person and I have to go every time I have to stay in a different place.
You're homeless right now?
Yeah, I've been homeless for decades.
So where are you living?
I don't live anywhere. I have to keep moving around because if I stay in one place, I'll end up in too much trouble. And my doctors instructed me to do that 20 years ago. They said that if communicating with people causes me to have seizures, I have to live in isolation.
I do just want to come back to what we do. I mean, Samaritans, it's a hard and fast rule. If you've ever been given advice from this side, then I'm very sorry, we didn't ought to have done. So we're very neutral, and we listen, and we help to explore your feelings.
Yeah, and
talk about your feelings.
And my particular feelings are the ones about me not being able to access medical care.
Yeah, I hear that.
Which means
your frustration.
Which means that there is no further medical treatment possible. Which means that I can use that to get a certificate for assisted dying.
Right. Well, if that's your plan and that's what happens, that's your choice, of course.
Yeah, I'm in too much pain, and if a child is raped, the next day the child will just get on with their life. But if you're the parent of a child that's raped, it's different. It's much more traumatic.
You've mentioned this several times, the child rape situation. You say the GPs, child rapists, and the police, you said?
Yes, because I went to my GP because I had trouble mobilizing to look after my child, and instead of helping me, they breached my medical privacy, and the police and the social workers broke into my brother's house and took my children away, and they were deported. And the judge said to me, the only way you can get your children away from that country where I've sent them to be raped is to have a personal welfare deputy. And when I got a personal welfare deputy, they can't cope with me because they've had no medical training, and so they run away.
Harry, it sounds very difficult. I'm sorry that this is the situation that you're in. I hope the wheelchair gets fixed. I mean, again, what would be good tomorrow? What would happen tomorrow that would make you happy?
I will ask the AI to listen to the conversation we're having,
All right.
and then I will ask the AI, who do you think I should write to? And the AI will guide me to write that letter.
Well, then I'll leave you to AI in that case.
And then
Howie,
that's it. I don't know about tomorrow. Maybe the AI will tell. I will ask the AI what I should be doing tomorrow.
all right.
I don't have many people to talk to these days. Only the Samaritans.
Is this conversation being recorded?
It's not being
Because
recorded.
I think I'm supposed to hang up if it's being recorded.
It's not recorded. It's listened to by AI because I have a brain injury and I can't take information in. So it's monitored by AI. At the end, it summarizes what the conversation was about and what I should do. It's called it's assisted technology.
All right. Howie, I'm glad you called us. I wish you well. Good luck with the wheelchair. Good luck with everything.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry about the brain injury. I'm sorry that you'd rather be dead than alive, frankly, but that's your choice and that's your right to take that course of action.
I don't know if the House of Lords are going to approve this, and so we can get royal assent.
Yeah, I wonder. But well, listen, we're here to listen. So please, if you're ever feeling rubbish, we're here to listen. And I can't give you any advice about anything, but the wheelchair, whether to go back to your GP, we don't give advice. So
it's a very good.
Decision.
It's a very good description of my feelings. I feel like I'm rubbish.
Well, then again, I'm sorry that that's how you feel about yourself.
But I think
I
think it's a very good summary. Thank you.
Well, I'm. Then I stumbled across it by accident, but I am sorry. And again, just tell me one thing that would be pleasurable tomorrow.
I'm transported 250 days into the future, and the assisted dying act has got royal assent, and the people in the regional governments have processed my medical file and will let people kill me.
What do you think happens when you die?
Then you stop suffering.
I understand. You stop suffering. Okay.
Yeah. We are all animals, you see. We all come out of the water, come onto land millions of years ago, and now we're constantly in this war with gravity. The gravity is pulling us down onto those hard, abrasive rocks, scraping the scales of our skin, and our legs are pushing us away from the rocks. And so 1 million years ago, we stopped walking on 4 legs and went on to 2 legs. And the doctors say that human beings have lots of problems in their lower spine, in their knees, because human beings haven't yet fully evolved to be walking on 2 legs. And I have problems with my spine and my knees and my left knee and my right ankle. That's why I need a wheelchair.
I understand. Howie, I'm going to say good night. I wish you well. We're here every day. Please use us again if you need to have a chat. I wish you well. I hope the wheelchair gets fixed. And I hope everything works out well for you.
Thank you. Congratulations for having spoken with me. Thank you.
I wish you well. You take care. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All the best. Goodbye.